I'm Dimitri Fernando, and this is another video, uh, Nation's Watchman. I want to talk to you about something that I experienced today. I got a chance to share with a young person, a young lady who's about 14 years old, and I want to share some of the thoughts that came with the stuff that I shared with her. So, she's a reader like me, love to read books, and she's a Harry Potter fan. So, as a Harry Potter fan, I knew that the Harry Potter book is problematic for a number of reasons, the series, and one of which is that J.K. Rowling is known to be a witch, which means that she basically practices witchcraft, or has said to be have practiced witchcraft. So, and a lot of the spells and stuff that are in the book are supposed to be real spells. Now, of course, I have no personal experience with it, so this is what I have read in my research. So, based on my research, I advise this young lady to be very careful when reading books like Harry Potter, particularly books which delve deeply into areas of witchcraft and different aspects of spellcasting, magic, and other such divination, astrology, so on and so forth, for so many different reasons. This young lady is also Christian, and as you may or may not know, the Bible expressly forbids use of any form of the occult, astrology, divination, magic, spells, any of that sort of thing. They are explicitly forbidden for anyone, both in the Old Testament and in the New Testament. So, a couple of the things that I wanted to tell you, that I realized or I learned when I was having a chat with this young lady. So I told her about this article that I had WhatsApp to her mom, and one thing she said really interested me. And she said, "I'll read it if it's from a trusted source like The Guardian, but if it's not a trusted source, I won't pay much heed to it." So I told her, do you know that the Guardian is one of the most untrustworthy media, because it's part of the big mainstream media, including publications and media organizations like the Washington Post, the New York Times, CNN, MSNBC, Google, Facebook, BBC, and such organizations which try to basically control what you think. They try to very carefully lay their own narrative as to what you should think, what you should believe, who you should trust, and they explicitly vilify a lot of alternative media, a lot of media that actually go against the narrative, and as a result, they basically spin their own version of reality. So I told this young lady, do you know that the Guardian is one of these organizations that try to control your thoughts? And do not trust anything that they say. Take whatever they say as the complete opposite of the truth. And if they tell you to do something, the truth is more than likely going to be the complete opposite of whatever it is that they are saying. So that is number one. Any of these mainstream media, one of the very good ways of determining what is right and moral and true is to consider the opposite of what they say, and that as being the truth. Why is this? Because lately these sort of mainstream media are basically having a narrative that involves things that promote uh, ideas that are completely evil, and they vilify ideas that are completely good. So they will tell you things like they will vilify things like God only made two genders. They will vilify things like a baby is a human being, and that a baby is a human being from the time of conception. They will vilify the idea that certain diseases are man-made and bioengineered weapons, and that certain forms of treatment are causing lots and lots of injuries right now. They will try to tell you that no, none of these are true. They will try to tell you that women have rights to remove what they call as non-human clumps of cells from their bodies. And none of these ideas were even thought to be true a few years ago, even a decade ago. So you can see how the media has basically spun a narrative that's completely the opposite of reality. So I told this young lady, first of all, don't trust most of these mainstream media. The second thing I wanted to tell this young lady, but which I told her later, was that don't take anyone as being a trusted source. Don't even take what I say as being a trusted source. Basically, if I tell you something that's different from what you've heard, just as they are telling you something, check it out for yourself, verify the facts, go deep into it and find out the facts for yourself from multiple sources, and use your critical thinking, your God-given intellect, and you are able to really see what is true, what is real, what is moral, and that will guide you. Your conscience will guide you. Don't let your mind and what you consider as being a trusted source to be the thing that guides you, because that is not going to take you down the right path. um, because the way that takes you to evil is the broad way. The way that takes you to heaven and what is right is the narrow way. Many people get on the broad way for so many reasons, and very few people get on the narrow way. So I want to tell her, and I want to tell all of you, don't take anything that somebody says as gospel truth. Especially don't take anything that comes from what they themselves call as they are a trusted source, and you should trust them and nobody else. Particularly when on so many issues they have found to be acting against the interest of humanity, against the interest of people, against the interest of right and morality and what is good. So that is one thing. So coming back, I told her don't get into Harry Potter, and particularly because some of these spells and things that are there are real spells, and even saying them out aloud will cause them to have effect on you. Now you may believe in this, you may disagree, but I prefer to err on the side of caution and not involve in spells and reading such spells. So that is what I want to share with you on this particular video, and more content coming up very soon, and looking forward to having you subscribe to my channel. So if you like this content, like, subscribe, share, comment, and do participate in the discussion. If you like my work, support my work. Always on the lookout for new content. So if you have ideas for content, please share it with me, and I will do my best to do a video on this particular content. This is Dimitri Fernando with Nations Watchman.